Hey guys, welcome back to the Reef YouTube channel. So in my last video, I went over the equipment that I use to manage the day-to-day tasks of my reef, and I briefly went over the Avast Marine Ozone Reactor as well as the Ozotech Ozone Generator. Well, in this video, I just want to show you a new upgrade kit that I just got in from Avast Marine. The kit is supposed to take the ozone reactor to the next level in terms of efficiency. So let's dive in and let's see what it's all about. To start things off, I first want to explain to you guys why I decided to use an ozone generator and an ozone reactor in the first place. After being in the hobby for more than 20 years, I came across various threads on forums and watched many YouTube videos on the subject. I learned that there were a lot of benefits to running ozone on a reef tank, but at the same time I also understood that if this piece of equipment was not set up correctly, there were some health risks to using it. So for that reason, I never really jumped into it. That is until about a year later when I came across more threads and watched more videos about it, and that reignited my curiosity about this piece of equipment. I did more research and I came across the Avast Marine Ozone Reactor and Generator kit. So I decided, what the heck, let me buy it, let me try it, and let me see what it's all about. 4 months later, the difference is substantial. I am seeing much better water clarity, less algae growth, and overall happier fish and coral. I do also want to point out that if you are curious about ozone generators and you think you might want to run one on your tank, I highly recommend that you do as much reading as you can about it so that you can get a good understanding of the benefits as well as the risks involved in running this type of equipment. Don't just take my word for it. I did my own reading and I understood the benefits and the drawbacks before actually jumping right into it and trying it out for myself. Alright, so now we get to the unboxing part. In the box I have a set of stickers, ozone safe tubing, an extra bag of activated carbon for the carbon filter, the carbon filter itself with some media already inside it, a pair of mounting clips for the carbon filter, and lastly the silencer / scrubber itself. So with everything unpacked, this is the Mutiny air scrubber and silencer kit. The extra bag of carbon I decided to pick up just to have on hand for when it comes time to replacing the media inside this carbon filter. The purpose of this kit as a whole is to, as I said earlier, further improve the efficiency of the ozone reactor. The way that works is it adds a third and final degassing stage to the ozonated water. As far as how it's going to be connected, this scrubber is going to be placed inside the sump. The barb fitting here, I'm going to connect to the output of the second stage, which is the carbon part of the filter in the reactor kit. The top piece here, I'm going to connect the ozone safe tubing. The other end of the tubing is going to connect into this end of the carbon filter itself. The carbon filter I am probably going to mount to the top of the tank here, or maybe put it off to the side. I really haven't decided 100% yet where this is going to go, but let's see how it turns out. After giving it some thought, I decided to mount the filter on the back wall of the stand. I started off by putting a couple marks on the stand, then drilling in some pilot holes, and then finally screwing the mounting pieces onto the stand. To make sure the mounts were properly leveled, I just used my mini level tool and did a few minor adjustments along the way. The next thing I did was connect the tubing to the carbon filter and mount it onto the back wall. Since I like to keep my tubing and wiring as tidy as possible, I quickly rerouted the tubing along the back corner of the stand near the ozone generator. Later, I disconnected the original tube from the second stage carbon reactor, then connected a piece of silicone tubing to the scrubber and placed it down in the front corner of the sump. I measured the tube length I needed, cut it, then connected it to the carbon reactor. The last thing I had to do was cut and connect the ozone safe tubing to the scrubber, and that was it. So that was pretty much the install process. Honestly, it was pretty straightforward. It was nothing more than just cutting a couple tubes, finding a good spot for this scrubber piece, I put it in the corner of the sump. I think it came out nice. It's not taking up too much space, which is excellent. I ended up putting the carbon filter on the back wall of the stand. I figured it was just going to be more accessible that way and much easier for me to change out the carbon when the time comes for it. Initial impressions, build quality, like a lot of things, Avast Marine, it's very good, very sturdy pieces of equipment. As far as benefits go, what I'm seeing right from the get-go is much quieter operation from the reactor kit as a whole. I used to have air bubbles and salt creeping coming up in the corner of the sump, and over time I had to constantly wipe it away. Now with this add-on kit installed, I think that's going to be a thing of the past. The carbon air filter itself, that's going to provide additional filtering of any lingering smells that's produced from the ozone generator. Yeah, so that wraps up the video. Hopefully you found this helpful and insightful in some way. If you like what you saw today, feel free to hit the thumbs up icon, subscribe, and add some comments if you have any questions for me. Alright guys, until next time, take care.